Hello everyone, here I have another iPhone. This is an iPhone XR and it has a damaged screen. You can see from the screen that the left hand side, the LCD is not working at all, but the touch is still working. You can turn it off. That's the very first thing, and it has these strange lines when you turn the cell phone off. So I will be fixing this screen. The first thing that you want to do is remove the two screws at the very bottom of the phone. And usually when you order a repair kit, it comes with the screwdrivers. So then you would have the tools to remove the screws. Now this phone is actually quite dirty as well. You can see the holes that go into the speaker are all clogged up. So when I have this apart, I will also be cleaning the inside of the phone. I found a good method to remove the screen is to use a sock filled with rice and put it in the microwave for 3 minutes. And that will help the adhesive to loosen up, and so that you can get a prying tool at the very bottom of the phone just to pry up a little bit. And then I stick a playing card just to hold it up and go around the outside. Now the ribbon cables are on the right hand side. The screen will open up like a book to the right. So after I have taken off some more of the adhesive, then the screen will be able to pry up so that we can disconnect it. So after I get it up a little bit, I found a good method is just using your finger and just going on the left and then the right side of the phone, and then at the top just wiggle it gently so that the screen can come off. When you pull it up, you'll see there will be a little bit of adhesive tape still connected to the screen. You can take that off. Just using, you can see the inside of this phone is quite dirty. There's lots of dust inside, so I'll be cleaning it up before replacing the new screen as well. So the first thing now that I'm going to do is remove the screen, and there are these little metal brackets that hold the ribbon cables down. So removing the screws, just make sure that you put the screws in the same order. A good way to organize your screws is take off the metal bracket and then put the screws right beside the holes of that bracket. With the bracket removed, you just using a little prying up tool, you can remove the ribbon connectors. And then there are two on the bottom and one at the top. But with those removed, now I can remove the bottom plate, and underneath the bottom plate is the connector to your battery. So we want to remove the battery before we start disconnecting the other things and reconnecting the screen, because if you connect it with the battery still connected, it could damage the screen. So remove that little bracket there, and underneath this bracket, the bottom left ribbon cable is the battery connector. So disconnect the battery, and then now we can remove the top. The top has 4 screws that we need to remove. There's 2 at the top, and then at the bottom, and then at the right bottom also has a screw there. Again, make sure that you know the order of the screws so that you can put them back in the same location. And using a pair of tweezers often helps, because sometimes the screws are quite small and hard to handle. So just removing the top screw there, and then with those screws removed, just using your tweezers, you can remove the bracket that goes over those connectors, and then we can remove the ribbon cable, and that will take off the bad LCD. Now what we have to do is, from the bad LCD, we need to remove the speaker, and the speaker has 4 screws that you need to remove. There's 3 on the main part of the speaker, and then there's a really small screw at the very top. So again, I just put the screws in the same order that I have removed them, and then getting that small screw at the top there, and we have that done. Now you can gently pry the speaker up And this is part where you have to go really slowly. So this is the speaker pried, and then using a little plastic tool, we can go underneath this and gently pry up on this ribbon cable. There's a couple sensors on there, so go very carefully. You don't want to bend or crease this cable because it's basically wires, and if something gets damaged, then your speaker will not work. So just take your time. There's also this little metal bracket that holds the speaker down, so you can just pull straight up on that using your tweezers. And then the speaker's right underneath that metal bracket. Just prying gently up on both sides, and also prying up on the right hand side, and it'll just come freely, slowly, and then we'll be able to remove everything there. The reason why we have to do this is we have to put this on the new screen because it doesn't come with this speaker. So that's the speaker off and the other sensors. Now the old screen also had this little device that you put in the hole for the speaker. So I'm just putting it in the same location on the new screen. Then using that speaker that we have removed and the sensors, just putting it back in the same orientation and putting the screws back in the same order that we took them apart. So just pushing everything down there, putting that metal bracket to hold it down, flipping the speaker up, and then we just have to reconnect those 4 screws to fasten everything back into place. So just using the screwdriver there, getting the 4 screws in, and that's the end process of the screen. Now, I did notice that the phone was quite dirty, so I found a good way to do this. Is there are these dentistry little toothpicks that have a little brush on it. You can probably pick them up in the travel packs in your grocery store, in the dentist in the toothpaste aisle, and that helps to get the dirt out of the speaker port at the bottom. I'm just applying the new adhesive tape around the outside and just removing that there, and then we can attach our new screen with the old speaker and make sure that everything's working before we put those brackets back into place. So that's the best idea, is when you're fixing things, is always test, do one thing at a time, work slowly, and there's no rush. It's better to do a good job than to make a mistake. So after you have connected everything, don't fully reassemble it, but you want to test. So I'm just putting the power cable back on and all those cables, and we'll just power it up to make sure that the screen is working okay. I do the same process when I'm fixing TVs, is just to make sure that the TV's working before assembling it, because there's sometimes that maybe a ribbon cable is not connected correctly. So this will verify that everything's working. You can see the touch is working. So now all we have to do is put those brackets back on, and then just clip the screen down that we've verified that everything is working. And the last step is put the 2 screws in. That just makes it so that the screen doesn't, pop off if it's dropped or what have you. And there you go. There's the fixed iPhone XR screen there, and everything seems to be working okay. So if you enjoy repair videos or you're interested in fixing things, you can subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video.